Have you ever said something so wildly inappropriate that it left you questioning your own sanity? Well, grab your popcorn and settle in, because today's story is about a woman named Samantha who learned the hard way that words have power, especially at a basketball game. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more wild tales and life lessons that keep you entertained and enlightened. Once upon a time, in a bustling city where basketball reigned supreme, there was a woman named Samantha. Yes, that kind of Samantha. She prided herself on being a basketball superfan, decked out in her team's jersey and ready to cheer them to victory. But Samantha had a knack for saying the wrong thing at the worst possible moment. One fateful evening, at a packed arena, the atmosphere crackled with excitement. The home team was facing off against their biggest rivals, and the crowd was electric. Samantha, fueled by adrenaline and a little too much soda, spotted a black man sitting a few rows down, cheering passionately for the opposing team. In a moment of sheer impulsivity, she shouted a comment that echoed through the arena, laced with ignorance and prejudice. The crowd quieted, eyes darting between her and the man. The cheers turned to gasps. The man, visibly hurt, shot her a look that could freeze fire. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. The weight of her words hung in the air, heavy and regretful. The game continued, but the atmosphere had shifted. Samantha sat in her seat, heart racing, realizing the impact of her thoughtless comment. The man's expression haunted her as the home team secured a win, but victory felt hollow. She left the arena feeling like a champion of nothing. The next morning, the sun rose with a bright optimism that Samantha was sorely lacking. She scrolled through social media, where clips of the game showed her infamous outburst. Comments flooded in, some supportive, but many were harsh. The realization hit her hard. She had become the villain of the story. Determined to make things right, Samantha decided to confront her mistake head-on. She crafted an apology, heartfelt and sincere, and posted it online. But she didn't stop there. She reached out to community organizations and volunteered to learn about racial justice and inclusivity. She wanted to ensure her ignorance wouldn't define her. A week later, she attended a community basketball event, where she spotted the same man from the game. With a racing heart, she approached him. "Hey, I'm Samantha," she said, extending her hand. "I owe you an apology. I was wrong, and I'm really sorry." To her surprise, he smiled, a genuine smile that lit up his face. "I appreciate that," he said. "It takes guts to admit when you're wrong." They began to talk, sharing laughs and stories. Samantha learned about his love for the game and how he had faced similar prejudices throughout his life. From that day forward, Samantha became an advocate for change, using her voice to uplift others rather than tear them down. She organized community events, bringing people from all walks of life together through basketball. The man became her friend and ally, and together, they transformed the narrative. In the end, Samantha learned that it's never too late to change, to grow, and to stand up for what's right. She turned a moment of embarrassment into an opportunity for growth, proving that even the most careless words can lead to the most meaningful lessons. So remember, folks, life is a lot like basketball. It's all about how you bounce back. And if you enjoyed this story and want more, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more interesting tales and life lessons that keep you entertained and enlightened. We are not done yet. Just when Samantha thought she had turned a corner, fate decided to throw her another curveball at the very next game. With her new friend by her side, she was ready to cheer for her team and promote unity in the stands. But as the game kicked off, the roar of the crowd was suddenly drowned out by a familiar, toxic voice. A white man, sitting a few rows behind Samantha, began hurling racist insults at the same black man who had faced Samantha's thoughtless comment just a week earlier. The words spewed forth like venom, and the atmosphere shifted quickly from excitement to outrage. Samantha felt her blood boil. This wasn't just a moment of ignorance. It was blatant racism, and she couldn't stay silent. "Hey, enough!" Samantha shouted, turning to confront the man. The crowd fell silent, Tension thickened the air. What you're saying is disgusting and completely unacceptable. The man scoffed, momentarily taken aback. Oh, please. It's just a game. He shouldn't be here if he can't take a joke. But Samantha wasn't having it. This isn't a joke. It's a problem. You can't just disrespect someone because of the color of their skin. What's wrong with you? The black man, visibly shaken but grateful, looked at Samantha with a mix of surprise and admiration. The crowd around them began to murmur in agreement, some joining in to support her. Yeah, stand up for him, one person shouted. Realizing the growing tension, Samantha took a deep breath and decided to escalate things. I'm going to get security, she announced, her voice steady. She turned and headed toward the nearest security personnel, explaining the situation with urgency. Within minutes, a few security guards approached the row, and Samantha pointed out the offending man. This guy has been hurling racist insults at that fan over there, she said, gesturing toward her friend. You need to do something about it. The security team nodded, ready to act. They approached the man, who was now realizing the gravity of his situation. Sir, we received complaints about your behavior. You need to leave the arena, one guard said firmly. The man's face turned pale as he protested, but his words fell on deaf ears. With the support of the crowd and the weight of the situation against him, he was escorted out, leaving behind a wave of applause from those around. Samantha turned back to her friend, who was now smiling, grateful for her support. Thank you for standing up for me, he said, his voice filled with genuine appreciation. It takes courage to call out that kind of behavior. Courage, Samantha replied, a little sheepishly. It's just common decency. We can't let this kind of thing slide. As the game resumed, the atmosphere shifted again, but this time, it was filled with a renewed sense of camaraderie. Samantha and her friend, now a symbol of unity in the stands, celebrated the home team's victory together. But more importantly, they celebrated the victory of standing up for what's right. After the game, Samantha received messages from fellow fans, and even the team's organization, expressing their gratitude for her actions. They invited her to be part of a new initiative aimed at promoting inclusivity and respect among fans. Samantha felt a surge of purpose. She was no longer just a spectator, but an advocate for change. In the end, Samantha learned that standing up for others not only helps those in need, but also empowers oneself. It's a reminder that even in the world of sports, where competition thrives, respect and unity should always take center stage. So remember, folks, life is a lot like basketball. It's all about how you play the game. And if you enjoyed this story and want more, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more wild tales and life lessons that keep you entertained and enlightened. The racist man's actions at the game had a ripple effect that resonated throughout the arena. As his insults echoed through the stands, the initial shock silenced many fans, leaving them momentarily frozen. People exchanged uneasy glances, unsure of how to respond. However, as Samantha stood up to confront him, something shifted. Her bravery inspired others. Fans who had been hesitant to speak out began to murmur their support. Some shouted phrases like, "That's not okay," or "Stand up for each other." This collective reaction transformed the atmosphere, turning a moment of shame into one of solidarity. Many fans felt empowered by Samantha's actions. They realized that silence in the face of racism only allowed it to thrive. Witnessing her stand up prompted others to reflect on their own values and behavior. Some fans approached her after the incident, expressing their gratitude and sharing their own experiences with Prejudice. They formed a small community of support right there in the stands, united by a shared commitment to standing against hate. The situation also drew the attention of the team's organization, which recognized the need for a more inclusive environment. They began discussing initiatives to promote respect among fans, ensuring that incidents like this wouldn't be tolerated in the future. Overall, the racist man's actions ignited a conversation about respect and inclusivity within the fan community, leading to a stronger, more united atmosphere for everyone at the game. It served as a powerful reminder that each individual has the ability to influence their surroundings for the better. After the game, Samantha and her new friend, let's call him Marcus, sat in a nearby cafe, high-fiving each other over their shared victory against ignorance. They both knew that their small act of courage had sparked something bigger. As they sipped their drinks, Samantha looked at Marcus and said, "You know, we should keep this momentum going." Marcus grinned. "What do you have in mind?" "A basketball tour to teach people how to pass, both the ball and the mic when it comes to standing up against racism?" Samantha laughed. "Exactly. Let's call it Hoops for Humanity. We can organize events at different arenas, bringing fans together to celebrate the game while promoting respect and inclusivity." And so, the duo got to work. They reached out to basketball teams across the league, sharing their story and the impact of that fateful game. They proposed workshops, community events, and even fun halftime shows that highlighted the importance of unity in sports. Their pitch was simple: let's just enjoy the beautiful game of basketball together. At their first event, they set up a mini basketball court outside the arena. Fans were invited to shoot hoops, but with a twist. For every basket made, they had to share a positive message about respect and inclusion. The air was filled with laughter and the sound of basketballs swishing through nets, but also with heartfelt discussions about standing up against racism. As word spread, the events grew, attracting fans from all walks of life. They laughed, shot some hoops, and shared stories, creating a community that thrived on positivity. Samantha and Marcus became a dynamic duo, like peanut butter and jelly, only with more slam dunks and fewer calories. One particularly memorable event featured a unity game, where fans divided into teams based on their favorite players rather than their backgrounds. Samantha, sporting her team jersey, said, "Today, we're all on the same team, the team of respect." With each event, they not only raised awareness, but also proved that laughter and camaraderie could break down barriers. Fans began sharing their stories, realizing that everyone had faced challenges and together, they could foster a more inclusive environment. Through their journey, Samantha learned that standing up for what's right isn't just about one moment of courage. It's about creating lasting change. Marcus, with his infectious positivity, reminded her that unity doesn't just happen. It's built through shared experiences and genuine connections. As their partnership flourished, they both realized that basketball was more than just a game. It was a platform for change. They had transformed a moment of embarrassment into a movement that celebrated diversity and respect across the league. In the end, Samantha and Marcus became the real MVPs, not just of the game, but of a cause that transcended sports. They reminded everyone that life is a lot like basketball. It's all about teamwork, respect, and knowing how to pass the ball when it counts. So, if you ever find yourself at a game, remember to cheer not just for your team, but for the spirit of unity that makes the game beautiful. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more adventures that inspire laughter, learning, and a little bit of love. One of the most impactful moments from Samantha and Marcus's events occurred during a unity game held at a bustling arena. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement as fans from different backgrounds filled the stands, wearing jerseys that represented their favorite teams, but also sporting shirts that read, "Together we ball" in bold letters. As the game kicked off, Samantha and Marcus took the mic to explain the significance of the day. They encouraged everyone to share their stories, emphasizing that basketball was a universal language that could bridge divides. The crowd was energized, but the real magic happened during the halftime show. Samantha invited several fans to participate in a story slam, where they could take turns sharing personal experiences related to respect and inclusion. As the first fan stepped up, a young woman named Lisa, she nervously gripped the mic. "Hi, I'm Lisa," she began, her voice shaking slightly. "I've always loved basketball, but I've also faced my share of discrimination." She paused, taking a deep breath. "Once at a game, someone told me I didn't belong because I was a woman. It hurt, But I kept coming back because the sport means so much to me. The crowd listened intently, and Lisa's vulnerability resonated deeply. She continued, "What I've learned is that basketball is for everyone. We all have a place here, and today, I feel that more than ever." As Lisa finished, the arena erupted in applause, and Samantha could see tears glistening in the eyes of many fans. Inspired by her bravery, several others followed suit, sharing stories of overcoming prejudice, finding acceptance and the joy of community that basketball had brought into their lives. Then came the highlight of the day. A young boy named Jamal, who had been watching from the front row, raised his hand hesitantly. Marcus encouraged him to come up. The crowd cheered him on as he stepped forward, clutching a basketball. "Hi, I'm Jamal," he said, looking down at the floor. "I love basketball, but sometimes kids at school make fun of me because I'm different. Today, I want to say that we should all just play and have fun, no matter what." His simple yet powerful message struck a chord. The crowd erupted in applause, and Samantha knelt down to give him a high five. "You're right, Jamal. Basketball is about having fun and lifting each other up." In that moment, the arena transformed into a sanctuary of acceptance. Fans hugged each other, and many exchanged contact information, promising to support one another beyond the game. The connection between people from all walks of life solidified into a shared commitment to respect and inclusivity. As the event wrapped up, Samantha and Marcus reflected on how a single voice could inspire many. They realized that through their efforts, they weren't just promoting a cause. They were creating a community where everyone felt valued and heard. That day, they learned that the real victory wasn't just in the game's score, but in the connections forged and the hearts opened. It was a powerful reminder that change starts with conversations and that every voice matters, especially in the beautiful game of basketball. Hit the subscribe button now to stay connected and enjoy more interesting stories.